Scratch and Wolf Studios. Wait, I'm not the host.
Get on my chair.
Sorry.
Coming at you from Scratch and Wolf Studios, it's that time again to rage across the internet. I'm your host, Porter.
Mm-hmm.
And not Tom.
To my left, Daniel Turtle Power Tyson.
Nice.
Hey, everybody.
And some creep across from me, a little big for his britches. We got the man himself, Tommy Dixon.
How's it going, guys?
Did you, listen to one of our old episodes?
Maybe.
Because I did that, in episode 6 or 7.
So I say he's a copycat?
Maybe 8 or 9. I don't know. We did it.
I am a clone.
Back to that shit.
She wins.
All right.
I always win.
Good night, everybody.
No. We have some shit to talk about.
I was about to say, I don't think producer gave you the wrap-up symbol.
No, he didn't, but that's about how we know.
Yeah, we know.
And he knows better.
Yeah, now.
Yeah, was that last session?
Yes.
Like, why'd you end it so quick? I'm like, what are you fucking talking about?
Yeah.
You gave me the wrap-up.
That was
was
last session for sure. He
we
gave him the wrap-up symbol. He literally cut it in 30 seconds.
Well, we were pushing the time, and I knew we could slow it down. I was like, this should probably not a good symbol to use. Because, once I said would slow it down, he just cut it. It was done.
You used the wrap it up hand signal.
I know, it was the wrong symbol.
Man.
So how we doing today?
We're doing good. Doing
It's
good.
recording day.
Always love recording day.
My favorite day. No.
So those rules. Now,
Doyle rules.
the old Doyle does rule. You know what's rules?
What's that?
Werewolf.
Werewolf rules.
Werewolf does rule. And the podcast.
Podcast is boss.
Why not?
Producer said so.
I couldn't think of anything else.
Yeah, it's fine. We don't script these, as it turns out.
But we got a couple more editions on that store.
Do we really?
Yeah.
Our store is open.
Yep.
Got some cool shit on there, and there's a couple more entries.
Yeah, I'm so excited to get some more stuff on there.
So hey, by all means, head up to the website, which is what, Tom?
www.rageacrosstheinternet.com.
.com.
There
we go.
He did it.
He did it. He joined in. This is good. He finally joined in.
Yeah, finally.
Yeah, and see what we got new in stock there.
Yep.
Lots of cool shit. I love how some of the stuff has turned out.
I'm so excited for some of that stuff. We've got some more stuff coming down the line. We're kind of waiting on the vendors, so it's exciting.
Yeah, so that's why we keep bringing it up, because there's new stuff to see.
Yes. Go back onto the store, take a look, and again, get on that Discord.
Yes, because we are
10% discount.
I have the 10% discount code for our grand reopening.
Yep.
But so that's it's a great way to celebrate. Get some cool shit.
Yes.
Those coffee mugs, I love those coffee mugs, man.
Coffee just tastes better out of a werewolf mug.
Well, it's the proper size too.
Or out of a Rage Across the Internet mug. My apologies.
Right. I love them because it's like 15 ounces, so like my Keurig, I can get the highest setting and still get all of that coffee. Still have room for like the creamer and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Who wants less coffee? I mean, what do you want here?
It's lifeblood.
It's a decent size, but not comically large.
Okay, yeah.
Because I got those comically large mugs in the cupboard.
It's like, why? It's so
I still
much.
want bigger ones.
That's what
I want to fit a whole pot of coffee in there.
That's what she said?
Well, that won't work for these, but, those are going to sell out quick, too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
We've only got the one vendor who does them, so when those are out for a bit. Those will sell out.
So get there quick.
Yeah. And get 10% off. Anyway, moving on from that.
Yep.
We want to thank you all for your support, because that's been fantastic.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Please keep that coming. Those reviews coming in. Those 5 stars, the thumbs ups and stuff, that Facebook, it all really matters. It helps get the word out. And
share the love.
yeah, we need more ears attached to this. What?
I was wondering where you were going to go with that.
More ears to pour the knowledge into.
What Danny said.
There we go.
And if that's awkward and weird, I didn't say it. So
Blame it on Danny.
that's right.
Like it wasn't any more awkward than what you had.
Maybe, but I didn't say it.
That's fair.
No, it's some good stuff.
Yeah.
And so, but moving on from that for now, we can go back to some business later on as well.
Yeah, sure.
Let's break that up a bit.
Yeah.
So you know how people love when we just carry on for a half hour and then talk about the subject?
What?
I know how we like to surprise them with the business.
Yeah, oh, it's time now. An episode break, Dix. Can't skip this one.
You wrote that commercial yet? For us?
No, but I do. I want to make a commercial for us. It's going to happen.
Yes.
I'm excited.
We're going to take a break from the podcast to air a commercial for the podcasts.
This is amazing.
I don't know, we talk about it so much it might not happen.
That's true. That's one of those things that's there specifically to amuse us. Mm-hmm. That's like half of what we do here.
And 3/4, but sure.
Pretty close.
But the other thing we're doing today is we are doing another Junk Drawer Diary.
Yeah, we had a lot of questions that we've, like, look, those are awesome questions, thank you, but do you mind if we save them so we can put them on air?
Right, and like last time, not everything is a Cubs Corner.
Right.
And then, I mean, we haven't done those in a while anyway, but...
Well, we stopped getting, because a lot of the questions we have are, like, a significant answer.
Right.
Not just a quick, yeah, do this.
Or they're more advanced.
Yeah.
Or something we want to... I mean, just this Junk Drawer, it's what this is for.
Right.
You get the batteries and the string and the question about, gnosis in cairns.
I was going to say, where does this key go to?
Right?
Maybe it's the cairn.
So let's have me shut up for 30 seconds and let producer Danny get us started.
All right.
Producer Danny.
Well, first we'll give a quick apology. This one's these few are from Saragde, but these were for a little while now. We've just been saving them for that long.
Yeah, I have apologized personally for that one, but yeah, that email got caught up with some junk mail, and so I missed it until like 2 or 3 months later.
Wow. So we didn't forget about you, or me and Tom didn't forget about you.
No, Porter was just illiterate one day.
So, but we did save them, so we do have those questions. So let's start off Junk Drawer. Ready?
Hike.
We're playing football now. It's no longer baseball.
Have your games ever played a crossover game that involved characters from Mage or Hunter, and either as background or plot-driven NPCs?
Okay. Well, yes.
All right. Next question.
Yeah, that happens. I mean, the World of Darkness is a big place. You guys,
Yes.
through the course of sitting down with me, you guys have fought a fair share of Draculas.
This is true.
Yes, we had.
We did a changeling related
Yeah, we have.
story the one time.
There's an arc in the Changeling. There's an NPC. There's a mage.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
There are two.
Technically, there's two.
But we're saving that for the patrons.
Oh, that's postmortem stuff.
Yep.
I would like to. You're going to run into hunters at some point. While I was playing, back in the day, it was one of these, that I was actually able to play for. We ran into the Silent Howl ran into hunters, and that was fun because Sekhmet refused to take them seriously.
I could see him doing that.
You got a little example because I'm very curious now.
Well, like at one point, they're following the Howl. So, like the Howl, they're driving around in the Crown Vic because that's Sekhmet is a thing for Crown Vics. I don't know.
Okay.
And they're following. It's not subtle,
At all?
Not really.
Okay.
I don't know if it was good perception rolls or what, but it wasn't subtle. And so Sekhmet, they get to a stop sign, and Sekhmet steps sideways.
Mm-hmm.
And the car takes off. So there's the hunters tailing them. We don't know they're hunters at this point, And so Sekhmet waits a few, comes back into the room, shifts to lupus, and starts following the car that's following them.
Nice.
And so he's watching, he's catching some sense, a little scent of the true form, little perception rolls. This is what are these human? What?
Why?
So he shifts to Hobbit and walks up. The Howl, gets some mind speed kick, and the Howl kind of parks over at the side, so they're, following. They park off somewhere, turn off the lights, they're just waiting. And Sekhmet walks up and he goes, "Hey, y'all got any of that moonshine? I think I saw a bar back there."
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Not your typical Sekhmet answer here or question, but now he's got to play something else. That's awesome.
Oh, it was great. He's just mocking the shit out of them, and they were starting to draw their weapons, and he's laughing at them. And then they threatened Roxy Soft Howl
Uh-oh.
And he ripped one of their throats out.
Good.
And smashed another to death with the head.
Not as brutal here, but it kind of reminds me of Supernatural, where the ghost phasers, they kept following Sam and Dean.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Are these guys for real?
And that was the attitude. And they had never encountered hunters before. Said hunters do have a little, they have some power, but they're human at the end of the day.
They're so human, right?
Yeah.
Easily taken care of.
Yeah.
All right, so to keep going off of Saragde's question here, have you ever involved their respective enemies, like Pentex, working with the Technocracy or one of the vampire clans?
I've never had the quote supervillain team up like that before. And I don't think that's not something I would do. And I think that has a lot to do with those aren't my games. I don't want to say I don't want to misrepresent them because you guys don't know any better. I could get away with it.
Fair.
But, yeah, well, even if you did, it's not like we would care that much either.
But you know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't know if I screwed it up because you don't know anything about those games either.
Right.
But I know so little, and it's not that, I guess I don't care.
That's fair.
You guys don't have enough to worry about?
Yes, we do. Yeah, there's already too much.
A bit.
And actually, to expound on that, you think about it, why would you care about, like, the bad guy mages? Like, what's the difference? Or better yet, a better example would be the Sabbat and the Sabbat and the Camarilla. You know, there were two factions of vampires. Who gives a shit? They're leeches. Why do you as characters care? Why would you know what the difference is? Why would it matter to you?
They need eradicated anyway.
That's my point.
Yeah.
Yeah, get rid of them.
That's when you said a bad mage. I'm like, wait, didn't know there was bad and good.
There you go.
I guess if we played those games, we would understand that, but
which makes sense. But we've never touched those games. We've never researched anything about those games, so it's kind of hard to place us in that setting.
Exactly.
Right. And then as a werewolf playing in this game,
and how would you have that
even
character
if you
knowledge?
knew that, why would you care?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you have people who've been playing all of those games all the years, that's a different story. If you want to, do a little chocolate peanut butter mix action, that's fine. But that's not something I'd do.
Delicious chocolate peanut butter.
No, I was gonna, but then I decided not to. So you're fine.
All right. So then I guess the second part of that question, would that even be feasible, or would that just oversaturate the enemy list and the main plot?
Well, again, I think it would. I think it would maybe not confuse the issue for you guys, but there wouldn't be much of a differentiation anyway. Mm-hmm. And then it might overcomplicate things for those other groups. But
depending on the plot, but yeah.
Yeah, but I can't speak to that.
Okay. Oh, awesome questions from Zaragde.
Yeah, thanks for writing those in, and yeah, sorry about that.
Well, he's got a couple. Well, he's got another one here.
Oh.
Well, he's got two more here.
Oh, my God.
He wrote in a lot to you, and you just blatantly ignored him.
Shit.
Oh, now you're throwing him under the bus.
Oh.
4 questions.
I think he's given him enough apology here. All right. Did you ever use any mockery breeds in any of your games?
Not yet, but I want to.
Okay, and we can't ask which ones because
that's
we're
the
in
thing.
the game.
Yeah, it's like I'm not going to give you more than that. But I think I actually did at one point talk about this. Mm-hmm. That I don't remember their name because just shut up. I don't.
That's all that matters.
But it's the apes, and the idea of you guys fighting one, and it reverts to its breed form, and the idea of what the shit is this thing. But I decided, I was worried about your guys' reactions early on, where you were just taking everything on face value. So I didn't wanna. Like, oh no, it makes sense that this exists, so I'm not fazed.
Well, we did that, yeah.
Yeah, no, there was a phase, and you guys got over it, but it was around the time I was thinking of doing it.
Right. Oh, so we definitely would have.
Yeah, so the idea of you guys being unfazed just ruined it for me.
Because we did that with Dracula's.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you're like, of course there's vampires.
Yeah, of course there's vampires.
Right.
Great.
Yeah.
Oh, there's werebears too? Of course there fucking is.
Yeah, why wouldn't there be?
Yeah. No, my
fuck.
Yeah.
We're living in Narnia, aren't we? Come on.
All right, and then
hold on a sec.
Okay.
For newer players here, newer to the game, should we dive a little bit into what's a mockery breed?
Yeah, okay. There's not a whole lot to it, but mockery breeds are shifters that were created by Pentex.
Okay.
To combat that certain shifter, or just as a Fomori?
Yeah, we want our own, so we made them. in a lab.
Gross.
Yeah, they're artificially created were creatures.
Huh.
Fun.
Yeah. So
I mean, we talked about the SAMs a couple weeks ago.
yeah,
3 weeks ago, whatever it was, but yeah.
Yeah, there's them. There's the apes. You know, these are the frogs.
A werefrog?
And then there's the dogs, but I'm not sure if that's official or not.
But a werefrog. Frogs only get so big.
Fucking snakes
they
only get so big.
That's fair. I'm tired of these snakes. On a plane.
All right, so then what's your favorite mockery breed?
I like that. I like the apes, man.
So you just want to stick with the apes?
I could see them being pretty badass, though.
I get this image, and I don't know if I saw it in a book and forgot about it and it just stuck with me, or if it's an image I came up with. But like, you know, like you get the fucking like kind of gray silver fur,
okay,
you know, and like the suspenders in the, you know, like that old beat cop, you know, with like the wife beater in the,
okay, you know I know where you're going.
Yeah, he's got the suspenders all the time and like maybe like a little derby hat, but like he's like a Krynos ape man.
Oh boy,
it's like you're dressing up Gorilla Grodd, I guess. He put a stogie in his mouth. I like that image.
He's got to have glasses too.
I don't know that he does.
I mean, is it
You know rectangle frames.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
You see it?
Oh,
you see what I'm saying?
I do.
Yep. Got to have the glasses.
Oh my god.
I'm picturing it now.
Yeah, I love that image.
Yep. Stogie with the squirt. Yeah.
Yeah, and like maybe like he's in the chair, right? Like in the office chair, and he reaches his foot up to pull out the stogie and ash.
Mm-hmm. All right, this might have to happen soon.
Someone goes in, hey, nice monkey suit.
Boo.
Yeah, I figured that was coming. All right.
Everybody boo him.
I'll give you a second to
Get on the Discord and boo him.
Thanks. Hey, while you're there, grab that discount code.
There you go.
All right, last question from Saragde. And again, Saragde, thank you for sending these in. Have you ever played a skin dancer or involved them in your game as anything other than an antagonist?
No. That's a hard no.
They shouldn't be anything other than an
They
antagonist.
shouldn't be anything other than antagonists. I mean, there's room for that, the enemy of my enemy kind of stuff. That's fine. But I hear this every now and then about, you know, skin dancers as pals. You know,
It doesn't make any sense.
I've heard people suggest that maybe they'll be playable in Werewolf 5.
Uh-oh.
And I reject this so fucking severely. I think I just lost the use of my legs.
Because, that's a skin that
How
essentially...
can you play something that could be wearing the pelt of your packmate?
Exactly.
That's what I'm... Oh.
How can you be friends with that?
Right.
That should enrage you every time you see him.
It's like, oh, hey, you look like my uncle. Because half of your face is...
Yeah, and what would not make you want to kill him?
Right?
And
Like,
wouldn't
under
that
what
be-
circumstance do you not murder that thing, even on principle?
Right.
Because it may not be your best friend whose face he's using, or whose pelt he stitched together, but it's, you know what? It's somebody else's.
And wouldn't that just make that whoever's playing the skin dancer, or whoever the skin dancer is, more susceptible to worm and corruption?
Oh, certainly. I mean, you know, the spirits, if I recall correctly, generally reject the shit out of them. You know, Minotaur has taken them on as a totem, which I guess legitimizes them as a tribe, and that's all well and good. But there's no spin on this that makes it a good thing, you know? I mean, you could make the argument, well, what if, you know, like the Garou about to die were to sacrifice himself for that? I don't buy that.
No.
You know? It's... How many Garou die of old age, for starters?
0?
It's not,
Probably.
It's not a big number. I don't know. You know, so to make that decision, and again, that's 5.
Mm-hmm.
And that's allegedly pristine hides in the first place for the right.
Oh, wow. Okay.
To make one that's largely rejected by Gaia in the first place.
Spitting on Gaia's face.
So, no. You know, I have used skin, you know, I had, and I'm not doing it this time around so I can talk about it with you guys here.
Right.
Was the tale of Ted Collins, who was a kinfolk at the Sept of the Summer Rain.
Yes.
Who is the cousin of Thermaka Moonshine from the Wranglers Pack. That's a little insight for some of our patrons.
There you go.
And that was a fun thing, because, you know, Ted is very much like a hillbilly.
Yes, he is.
And he, like, super tries too hard.
to be friends with everyone.
Yeah. You know, so he's like always, he's the guy who stands too close and gets a little too personal and is, stop, you're creeping me out.
Okay.
The idea was, is not all kinfolk are treated well. So obviously he started to go down that path.
Mm-hmm.
And the pack, this was in the Virginia games with the Sleight of Claw pack, they found out what had happened because the Wrangler's pack had gone missing for a while. Well, the last time they knew where he was, they were at Cousin Ted's house. So they drive to Ted's house, and Ted's, Ted's truck's gone, but Thram's Jeep is there.
Oh.
And so they call, and Ted answers and goes, yeah, I'm in the shower. Would you come over in about a half hour?
You're in the shower, huh?
Yeah. Well, what he was doing was getting rid of the rest of the bodies.
Yeah. I mean...
But so they break into the house, because...
of course.
Right. See what's going on, and they see there's a fucking crime scene, and they're digging through his shit, and they find his diary. And so what they learn is he was this guy who had just gone through this terrible divorce down in his home sept in Texas. And life wasn't going too well, so he decided to go make a change. And so he transferred to help guard this sept over in Jersey. And he was optimistic about life and how things were going. And, he met a girl, a fellow kinfolk there. And he was so enthralled with her, but she was dating a member of the Lead Guardian pack. And so, he hated this guy. And he's like, well, he's just going to beat you. That's what Garter do. And I mean, he's right, but... Well, it's not on purpose. It's sometimes the rage comes to a head. That's a thing that happens.
Yeah, no, I'm following you is what's going on here.
Okay. Yeah, and then, he's thinking about all the times he's getting picked on by people, and the times that asshole get offender spits in his face or smacks him around. And then the times that, these cubs over here snubbed him, and they wouldn't come over. He invited them over for beers. They're 15 years old. Who doesn't want beer? Well, you're too good to watch the Demolition Derby with me, you piece of shit. And you just watch his slow decline to where he's just making shit up that are slights against him.
So the ones who are picking on him, he's embellishing at that point.
And then people who aren't picking on him.
And then embellishing even more.
Yeah. And then one day, he meets a guy who knows it right.
Oh, boy.
So, I mean, I did that. That was really fun.
That's a good thing I have a little bit of a relationship with Ted Collins, a friendship.
It's actually one of the times I made my group cry.
I don't blame them. Knowing that, Jesus, man.
Well, and they were friends with that pack.
Oh, yeah, that would hurt.
They were friends with the Wranglers.
You hurt all of their feelings.
Yeah, I was very proud of that.
Oof.
He's always proud when he makes his group cry.
Yeah, I am. Not in a mean way, but look, I got players to express that kind of emotion.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think the emotion part
of
the story is a big deal.
I mean, yeah, I'm mean, but...
All right, so again, thanks, Sir Agde, for the questions and solid answers. So, next we have Action Penguin. So I've been wondering if a new storyteller wanted to update their collection of books, what would be the top 5 essential storyteller books from W20, as well as the top 5 from previous editions?
Okay, I'm going to simplify that.
Okay.
Because I think if you... First of all, I don't know if there are 5 must-have books in first edition. In fact, I'm going to say there aren't 5 must-have first edition books. And I don't know if I would say you have to have these 5 Werewolf 20 books. And while we're at it, you look in the in-between the second and revised, if you have the one, you don't need the other,
Like which ones do you mean?
Well, you look at Umbra, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you have Umbra 2, or Umbra Revised, rather, you don't need the previous Umbra book.
Okay.
Most of that book is the same.
It was revised for a reason.
Right. Most of the difference between the Books of the Worm, until you get to 20, there's not a whole lot of difference. I mean, there are sections that are just moved over. I'm serious. There's sections in both of those books that are word for word through the editions.
Wow.
So let's break it down to, let's say, just the top 5 must-haves.
Okay.
W20.
Yep.
Your core book, obviously.
Yeah, obviously. And in fact, let's not even count it.
Yeah.
Really? You wouldn't even count it, huh?
Well, because you should have that.
You can't play without a core book.
Okay, that's fair.
And you want the most...
have it.
Yeah, and you want the most recent core book.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. From there, I'd go probably Storyteller's Guide 3, the revised edition.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really good book. Probably Umbra 20.
Yeah, that's a solid one, too. We've had to use that one a lot, especially recently.
Worm 20.
Okay.
Probably Access Mundi.
I agree with that.
That's a cool one.
And you see, this was Storyteller, not Player.
Correct.
So, not Player's Guide.
Yeah, I was going to say Player's Guide's not making that.
No, Player's Guide's not going to make that list. What do you guys think?
You said Book of the Worm. You said Access Moon Die.
Yeah.
Moon Die.
I mean, unless you want to count, like, the Book of Auspices.
Book of Auspices. There you go. Did I not see Book of Auspices?
No, you didn't.
Book of Auspices. There you go.
That's definitely one. I didn't even think about that book either.
Jeez.
I was thinking of doing tribe books, but you could probably count those as one. Get all the tribes.
No.
No?
That's many books.
Yeah, that's a lot of books. And again, as a storyteller now, you don't need it.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, players absolutely, but storyteller now.
Yeah, you get a little bit out of the Storyteller's Guide anyway.
Yeah, and in fact, I might replace, if we're talking just player or storytellers and not players, swap out Auspices for Guardians of the Cairns.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good one. Again, we've had to use that one a lot, too.
Yeah. So, Umbra 20, Guardians of the Cairns, Book of the Worm 20.
Book of Auspices.
Not Book of Auspices. We just retconned that.
How are we confused? We were just saying these things.
I think they'll figure it out.
I think they heard it.
Yeah, they got it.
Oh.
Storyteller's Guide.
It's Storytellers 3.
Storytellers 3. Umbra
20. Worm 20. Guardians of the Cairns.
Guardians of the Cairns. What was that fifth?
Book of Auspices.
No, we
Stop
it. We took that out.
We took that out for Guardians.
Okay.
Oh my God.
So that's going to be Book of the Worm 20. It's going to be Umbra 20.
Storyteller's Guide 3.
Storyteller's Guide 3. Access Mundi. And Guardians of the Cairns.
Okay, there's your top 5.
That's what I'd say the top 5 are.
For your storytellers.
Good top 5.
Specifically for storytellers.
It's a good top 5, though.
No, it's awesome.
Those are some really deep knowledge books.
Okay. Next part of the question. What exactly are the Rage Across books?
Okay, well, the Rage Across books, they're kind of guides to a particular region. You know, they've done those books throughout all the editions. Mm-hmm. And so...
We've seen quite a few of them.
Yeah.
Rage Across New York, Rage Across Amazon.
Yeah, Appalachia, Australia, Russia, World of Rage, Rage Across the World.
Rage Across the Internet.
Isn't that a book? But yeah. That's the best one.
I'm cheering.
Let's get writing.
I'm cheering, that's all.
Oh, boy. Yeah, that's fair. Great.
I was going to make a comment at the start. We wrote books?
No, those books feature particular areas. And depending on the edition, some lead more toward, here's a narrative you could tell.
Okay.
In some cases, like Rage New York, there's a borderline book game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like they have a story they want you to tell, and here's how to tell it.
Oh.
And then you get something like, say, Rage Australia, which is more a guide to the region and what's there. Rage Across Appalachia is more the same way, although there's a little follow-up plot here as well. And it gets, the further you get from the first edition, the more it's, here's information to do whatever you want. You know, here's your sandbox to play in, as opposed to, you should tell this story, guys.
So it's, instead of, you should tell this story, the further it goes out, it's, if you were to tell a story, this is what you should use.
No, it's here are just tools, and do whatever the fuck you want.
Well, that's okay.
It makes more sense. Here's the plot hook. It's, here's what you could make a plot hook out of.
You know, like, you have something like Rage Across the Heavens, which I almost forgot about until right now.
That's a really good one, though.
Is it? I mean, that's the book that introduces Anthelios and the Metis Child.
Right.
You know, it's also the book that talks about some of the planetary cards. So there's some interesting things there. Definitely. And then you have, like, a World of Rage or Rage Across the World, which give you, this is what's going on the planet.
Just broad strokes, kind of.
Yeah, they're like travel logs.
Okay.
You know, like they talk about the events of the Shadow Curtain, which is we're going to do that episode. Like, definitely I want to do an episode just about what happened behind the Shadow Curtain.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Or the Weekend
It's
Nightmares.
good because I don't know anything about it.
So there you go. You know, the Weekend Nightmares, shit like that. The one for Werewolf 20, and I'm the worst. I don't remember if it's a World of Rage or Rage Across the World. I always get them confused. But how dare you name them so similarly? Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, that is way too similar.
Right. One's got the Margrave on the front, one's a W20 book.
It's almost like a recent read.
Don't like you.
Never have.
There's not a problem with naming a character Reese and naming a character Reed.
Becomes
until
a
you
problem
put them in the same pack.
Now it's a problem.
I did not think that through.
Sorry, I had to.
No, he balls sufficiently busted.
Good job, Tom.
Nice. The Werewolf 21, though, like I really like that one. It's formed more like a travel log than the others.
Okay.
Of a particular guy wandering the planet, and here's what I've seen here, here's an interesting thing here. So you can just pick that up and run with it.
Oh, cool. All right. And more from Action Penguin. Is there any books out there that collect all the Cairn locations all into one book? Or is that kind of like a gotta collect them all situation?
No, it's a Pokemon situation. This is...
Hashtag not sponsored.
Not at all. The Go Bulbasaur. Who said that? Why do I know a Pokemon?
I think someone used Squirtle in the Discord the other day, so...
That wouldn't surprise me.
No, here's the thing. And this actually is always kind of stuck in my craw a bit. Is there isn't a dedicated book listing all the major cairns in the world. There is the Cairn book, Places of Power. Mm-hmm. And that lists the major cairns per tribe. Okay. This is to say one from each tribe. And that's all that book is, except the back is a little kitsune write-up where I think they got bored and quit halfway through.
So...
Literally?
I think so. It didn't feel...
It fell off quite hard?
Yeah, it fell off pretty hard. I think.
So it just ends?
Yeah, I think it was rushed is what happened. Like in the real world.
We got to get this to editing now.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's funnier to say they just got bored and quit.
Well...
That's about me not liking Kitsune. But there's a couple asterisks in that Cairn book, which is a problem. For one, the main Bone Gnar Cairn they chose was DC, which, Danny, you played a game working out of the Sept of the Awakening. But the reason it's that is because in the 2nd edition core book, they cover the Sept of the Green. So if you want to get the info on the Sept of the Green, you need core book 2. Right.
Oh, yeah.
Which isn't a problem when you were playing in 2nd edition.
Yeah, but...
Gotta catch them all.
Ridiculous.
the other two that really grind my gears are the Glasswalkers and Shadow Lords. Because they put the main Glasswalker cairn in China. So it's the, and I've butchered this already, sorry, the Bola Zhui.
Sure.
They're Hengyokai. They're not Glasswalkers. And it's the same with the Shadow Lords as they chose Japan instead of the Sept of the Night Sky. So they have to introduce the Haken and the Hengyokai.
But they're not.
I know. Those aren't part of the Garu Nation.
But did they do that as a writing aspect to segue into the Hengyokai?
Probably. I believe the Hengyokai wasn't... I don't know this, but I believe Hengyokai was kind of...
Thrown in 2nd edition.
You came in 2nd edition, so I'm sure that book was coming nearby.
Yeah, I can see that be why they wrote it, maybe.
And frankly, I'm not entirely sure that the Margrave existed yet in 2nd edition.
Okay.
No, he had to have. No, he had to. He's in the back cover of the 2nd edition of the Tribe book. So no, he was there. But I guess he wasn't... I don't know what.
Maybe he wasn't in power yet or something?
Well, he was in power.
Okay.
But for some reason, they chose that instead of the Margraves cairn, you know? And again, maybe it was to help segue into Hengyokai, but they're not part of the Garu Nation.
Right. So
I feel like those missed opportunities. And the same with the Glasswalkers is we couldn't do Chicago? I mean, that doesn't sound like a... They gave LA, San Francisco to the Children of Gaia. Makes perfect sense.
What about LA? I mean, LA's a
but you're already on that coast.
Right, yeah.
So if you didn't want to use the coast, that's fine. Use Chicago.
Chicago would have worked.
Gangsters, corruption, big city.
Oh, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
New
Orleans?
If that's not the hub of... If Chicago's not the hub of the Glasswalkers, like their seat of power, it certainly should be. That'd be a great fucking setting. You know? Come on. But they didn't. Also...
Wise guys.
Morning Kill, his cairn, the Sept of the Northeastern Protectorate, I don't think that's detailed anywhere. It's barely mentioned. I remember I spent like a day and a half looking for the name of the damned thing.
Wow.
Oh, crap.
The seat of power of the Silver Fangs in America is not listed. Good job. Where is it? I don't know. I have never found details on it. Maybe it's in a book or two that I happen to not have. I doubt it. Maybe I missed it somewhere. It's possible. But I had to hunt just for the damn name.
Yeah, and if you have to hunt that much, I mean, you have almost everything.
Yeah.
And you have to hunt for it. You think something of that significance would be a little bit more detailed in...
Kind of my thing.
Wow.
So, yeah, the Cairns book will give you some, but there are Cairns detailed all over the place in other books. So it's a little bit of a... And I mean, you want to get all the books anyway.
Yeah, especially for your completionists.
Gotta catch them all.
Even if information is outdated, there can be something you can grab from it. Yeah. It's not...
Oh, they're all useful. Anyway.
Yeah, like the new edition overwrites the shit from the old edition, absolutely. But it doesn't mean there aren't things you can use. And come on, why not?
I can see it.
Just more lore for Werewolf.
Right? I mean, get them print on demand. Go to Drive-Thru RPG. use our affiliate link on our homepage, certainly, please. But, get the PDF copy or print on demand and, have all that information. Why not have it all?
It's only going to help.
Right? I know there is a resource out there that lists all the cairns. It's a fan-made resource.
Okay.
But it also lists people's homebrew stuff.
Well, so you can kind of add to it yourself?
I think you can add to it yourself.
It's like a Wikipedia.
Yeah, it's a big, it's impressive.
Oh, I'm sure all that information put on there, sure, it's impressive. But your game is not going to be the same as my game.
Right, and the thing I would I'm not naysaying it because it's a hell of a project. Don't get me wrong. But when you have everybody, or let's say 30 different storytellers collaborating on this thing,
right,
to put their homebrew cairns in, along with the ones that have been listed in any sort of official source.
Yeah, how all of a sudden you be able to tell the difference between what's really an official source and what's someone's headcanon?
And if you're using it all, then suddenly the Garu aren't really outnumbered anymore, are they?
Right.
There's a cairn every 20 feet.
There's cairns everywhere. You got cairns on top of cairns.
Right. So...
No, I can see it. And like I
Detroit, there's 15 cairns on this street.
On the street?
Well, a good place is a good place, right?
Yeah, well, Detroit being the hub.
I just used an example.
No, but when I say, because people don't know that, but Detroit is built like a hub, so it's all the streets spreading out like a car
web.
Yeah.
Well, maybe Belle Isle's a good place for a cairn.
That'd be cool.
It's a great place for a cairn.
But because of that, it's an obvious place.
Mm-hmm.
So any storyteller going to put a cairn in the area is going to pick Belle Isle. All of a sudden, you have 8 cairns in that same spot.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong with that because they're individual games. What I'm saying is it confuses the issue if you have that big resource like that.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, how can you start being able to differentiate the official from the headcanon? So
again, it's a resource, and if it's not linked in our forums, it should be, and I will look to fix that. But
okay, so
buyer beware, I guess, and not again, hell of a project, but
yeah, impressive nevertheless.
Yeah, not naysaying, but.
Okay, so that's going to help because I can segue into the next question here. And I made a promise. So Ghostpaw, here we go. This one we told you we had.
Oh.
We were waiting for the answer. And we just forgot to look it up the one time, and now we saved it for here.
I think we didn't want to look it up the one time, and then I forgot about it entirely.
It's 10 episodes later, probably.
Yeah, so I think that's how that happened.
Yeah, but we ultimately decided it was a junk drawer question.
That's the excuse.
Still happening. Ghostpaw wants to know the appropriate amount of Gnosis donation per cairn and each of their levels.
Oh, like to keep it
running, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, there is a chart.
Yep.
In Player's Guide 3.
Yes. Player's Guide to Garu.
Yep. Yeah. It's revised, which it's 3rd edition. Shut up.
Yeah.
It's a good book to have.
Yeah, no, it's a good book. If we were doing the 5 books for players, it'd be on there.
That's a number 1.
So the chart is...
Yeah, there is a chart.
109.
Oh, Danny's got numbers.
Yep.
Danny did homework.
I did a little bit. Well, again, I made the promise for Ghostpaw.
No,
we had the answer.
No. Good on you. I'm going to say, and this is my rule of thumb.
Yes.
Because I don't know if it says it in the chart. I don't remember. I just know that there is a chart.
Yeah.
But my rule of thumb is 1 Gnosis per character per level of the cairn. So, like, if there are 10 Garu present in a level 1 cairn at the mood, it's going to take, 10 Gnosis total, 1 from everybody there to, maintain.
To keep going for how often?
Well, on a mood, so that's, on the monthly.
Okay.
I should say on a monthly mood, not, because there's other moods pop up.
Yeah. You got any other possible examples for that? Not really.
Well, not really. I mean, your mileage varies as it ranks up. So, I might 1 per member per level of the cairn.
I'm thinking
if he scales up the cairn, maybe.
Well, yeah, if you scale up the cairn, it's going to be higher rank, because every rank has a different amount of Garu that should be placed in it.
Theoretically, yeah. Because it's going to take a certain amount of Gnosis upkeep to keep that cairn at that level.
Mm-hmm.
You got to keep in mind, if you have a level 5 cairn, right? Level 4 cairn.
Either way, yeah.
Yeah. All right. And you have 6 Garu there.
Yeah, oh boy.
That thing is slowly going to weaken in power.
Mm-hmm.
It will become a level 1 cairn.
That's not good.
So, you keep that, and again, that's my rule of thumb number, as a requirement. So if you can't keep that level for whatever reason, that's when you start to lose. You run into the potential of that cane losing power. And I always said, well, how do you do that if it's one per person, right? But let's say that one per person equals 15, okay?
Sure.
And a pack dies. The cane still needs that 15.
Oh, okay, so I got you now.
Yeah, I link it to the number at the time, So if someone's gone, that's got to be made up for, or.
Yeah.
And you follow me?
Yes.
Okay.
Because again...
Start giving up more gnosis.
Right.
You
got to make up for what's not there.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I was trying to find a way to say it. You guys said it better. Thank you.
There we go.
Excellent.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
All right. Ghostball's got a couple more. I'm going to hold off on those.
Okay.
Oh, we'll get to you.
But this episode or in another 6 months?
That's kind of a dig.
That would be mean.
I know. That's why I'm asking.
So that's a dig on yourself, man.
I know. I was here.
All right. This one's from Charybdis.
I know.
Our apple polishing champion.
That guy.
Yep, that guy.
The mad German.
Is that a new name for him?
Why not?
Okay.
He's got so many.
He says, how about who the auspices between the tribes fulfill their duty? Like, how different is an Octina Thurge from a Shadowlord Thurge?
Oh, I wrote that question down, huh?
Yep. And what's the question? You hate that question?
I hate that question.
Why?
I have heard this question a lot.
Yeah,
this comes up a lot on Discord. This comes up in fan mail every now and then.
I've seen it on Facebook.
Yeah, and again, don't shy away from sending that mail in. We love getting that mail. Unless it gets lost in the sea of spam, I personally respond to them. Anyway.
Yeah, it's each of the auspices and how the different tribes.
Yeah, how they handle
how they're handled,
and that's first of all, it's a really broad topic,
very
broad and in depth.
Yeah,
you can get very in depth,
and I'm not going to do that right now
because you'd be digging through each tribe, and that would take
suddenly
that could be a 2-episoder right there.
Exactly, that's not only its own show. That might be its own. But the thing I hate about that question is because it balls up everyone in a tribe as if they're a certain way, like there's a script that has to be followed. And I have always rejected that because while you're of a tribe, you get the tribal background, you're taught things a certain way. Absolutely, you're still your character.
Yeah, play the character.
Right, and it's up to who that character is. If he wants to follow stringent lines of if a spirit's being difficult, use force or try to trick it, or.
And would that depend on the tribe?
It certainly would.
It could, but it more depends on the character.
And who's teaching the character.
Yeah, that too.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
Whiplash is going to tell you, hit it with a hammer, and if that doesn't work, get a bigger hammer.
Get fashion, yeah.
That's my favorite answer.
Well, thank you. Jude's going to tell you, and none of these are Thurges, but Jude's going to tell you to get the spirit. Make the spirit want to help you. Make it the spirit's idea.
Right.
Convince it that it was his idea.
Yeah.
How about Segment, who is a Thurge?
Segment's just that good. He doesn't. What do you mean the spirit's not going to do it? That's ridiculous.
The spirit knows his name.
Just have your shit together. That's all you need to do.
He's a rock star. The spirit knows his name.
Well done.
Most arrogant character ever.
But you know what, though? That helped, because that's just showing the examples of the characters,
right?
Not their tribes.
No, absolutely. And I mean, even then you would look to... And I'm leaning Thurge here, obviously, because...
Well, I think it's easier to help with that kind of thing, especially with spirits.
Right, it's so varied. To where, an Aharon is, learn your fucking strategy and hit things hard. I'm not downplaying the Aharon, but can you read? Can you read The Art of War? Got it. Can you learn about strategy? Yes, you can. You're going to learn... you have the same shelf of books, if you will, to pick from.
Right.
But with the spirit world and with how spirits work, how many gifts have you seen that is taught by this spirit or that spirit or this spirit? It gives a couple options.
Almost all of them.
Right. And so the type of spirit you might be inclined to summon might be based on a tribe.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Hare's Leap, for example, used to be called Leap of the Kangaroo. Why? You can learn it from either spirit. But if you're part of the Octana living down in Australia, which version are you going to call?
Right.
While the child of Gaia over at Frisco is probably going to call the rabbit. So, I mean, there's even that type of shit to factor in. It's really dense, and I think that might be the worthier part as to how you go about it. Because you go, well, get a Fenris, don't they bully the spirits? Well, some do.
Sure, maybe.
And some would find that abhorrent. It depends on who the character is, on where they were raised in terms of a sept, and who taught them. You go back to Ahram for a second, and we talk a bit about our games, is, you guys came up, and you guys had adventures before that, but you came up with the Sept of the Summerrain under Whiplash.
Yes. A
Garu who, while we make jokes about him being a total meathead,
is a total meathead.
No, he was trained to think.
Behind the scenes. And to our faces, he's the meathead. But behind the scenes, he's
extremely strategic.
Strategic, exactly.
Yes. Yeah, there's a difference between him playing his role as a pseudo drill instructor,
right,
and doing his job as an Ahram. Yeah, he was trained to think. Which is not something I'll get a Fenris or taught. And by contrast, you have a Sven Skullsplitter over at the Sept of the Sentinel, who teaches them not to think and to smash harder.
Do as I say because I said it.
Right. Makes phenomenal shock troops. Great pawns.
Yep.
That's it.
Good job. Thank you, Sven.
So I think,
it is such a broad question.
Yeah.
It really is. And like you said, we'd have to deep dive into each tribe. And
we are planning on it. Because we'll do a part 2 of each of the tribes. We just got to make it through the first set first.
And it's going to be a different angle when we do that. It's going to be a very different thing, and we need to lock down a format on that, something we're going to enjoy. And that's something we're going to be stuck having to do.
We're going to script. What?
We're not going to script.
That's not going to happen.
We're going to outline at absolute best. But we want to figure out a way to do that doesn't make us go, I don't want to do this one. That happens sometimes.
All right. Then I guess we can kind of push forward from there.
Yeah, Charybdis.
Now, we have another one. Unfortunately, it wasn't written down who this one was from, because we've had this one for a while.
That happens.
But
we're very irresponsible.
Yeah, that's fine.
But we're answering them at least.
I know, yes. Yeah, right?
So if you sent this one in, thank you.
Thank you, whoever wrote the thing we put a note down that was under a pile of junk mail in my living room.
At least it didn't get lost.
That might be accurate. You don't know.
Probably. Who are some of your favorite meta plot characters?
That's fun. All right.
And who do you think has more significance?
Well, that's...
that depends on what kind of story you're writing.
Yeah, that's going to be the diplomatic answer. That depends on the story you're writing. But, obviously, King Albrecht is more significant than Fengi.
I don't even know who Fengi is.
There you go. Yes, you do. You've met him. It's Sept of the Green. Can't shut up.
Oh.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure I know who that one is.
Hyperactive, annoying motherfucker.
Mother Larissa.
Absolutely.
Bringing up Sept of the Green. She's definitely super important.
She's an elder.
Right. But, there you go. You look at ranks, you look at elders and the importance. Aside from how you want to talk about, there's plenty of really cool meta characters. Mother Larissa, she's a badass. I love her rage card.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's so weird looking.
Well, it's cool because if you look at, she's in W20 in the comic there, and they made her look more real, like a real human being would look.
Oh.
And not like the antagonist from Hansel and Gretel.
Like the rage cards makes her look.
Yeah. I love that rage card version, though, because it looks like she eats children on the reg.
It's so true.
It's super cool.
If you guys haven't seen it, go look it up.
Oh, yeah.
Just Google image it. It'll pop right up.
I unironically love that picture. I'm not fucking around. No, I love it.
It's funny.
In the digital deck, I think I have her as one of my packs. It's just, I had to because she looks so ridiculous.
But see,
and she's a great card, too, though.
Yeah, she's a badass.
Again, that's an elder. So you would imagine that she's got some cool shit to do.
Well, and when you say older, too, she's 90-something. So she's seen her shit. She's got a Grand Clave hidden somewhere. I don't know. I don't think it's hidden so much as she forgot where it is. But that's just me.
It's by the stove where she goes and cooks the kids.
Right, only that's not there anymore because we're in Central Park, so she put it by the tree.
Good luck.
Exactly. I think that's what happened, honestly.
Someone just picked it up and found it. Someone saved this. We're going to need it eventually.
Or it's in the water, in the lake.
But yeah, you have... Yeah, even going back to... You've got Shaky Mac. over at the Scepter of the Green, too, who's someone I fucking love.
Another good Rage card.
Yeah, he is. And that's where I first discovered him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was that Rage card. It's awesome art. And then he's just... The funny thing is in the early days, I accidentally played him like Fengi.
Oh.
I, in my brain, swapped their personalities. And, man, Shaky Mac is a miserable, bitter, angry son of a bitch all the time. So, I couldn't have done that worse.
Oh, man.
I love that guy. He's just the most miserable prick. But obviously you've got...
The Margrave.
The Margrave.
Yeah.
You know, it was Jackie Gecko, who's down in Australia.
Oh, that was a cool one, too. I remember reading that one.
I should like that guy. Bjorn Blood from Stone is another one. That was one that the Rage card had me fascinated with. And then, of course, Warriors of the Apocalypse. That book was published. And that details all the characters in the first edition of the Rage card game.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. I think it covers some Umbra stuff, too. But it covers all those characters. It gives the stats, the backgrounds, and all that shit. So cool. You can integrate them, And Bjorn Blood from Stone. Yeah, you've seen that card. Mm-hmm. He's the Metis with the arm that's, massive.
I've seen it, yep.
Oh, the guy's awesome looking. And what a great name, too.
So, goal things first.
Yeah. Leader of the War of the Amazon.
Yep.
And his number 2, Crick Rum Wrangler.
Rum Wrangler, that's a name.
Right? It's a mouthful, too. You gotta be careful with that. Rum Wrangler. You can
easily can trip over that name.
Yeah, that one's a trap.
The significance of him being...
He's a Bonar,
a Bonar. He's
under Gogol. Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Gogol
nuts.
sees a Bonar.
You there.
Yeah.
You're my number one.
Yeah.
That is saying something.
Yeah. I think that's really cool.
And that's not picking on Bonars. We're going off the lore of the game here.
No, right. I mean, they're eating shit.
Right.
So to be in that position, that guy earned his shit. That's a badass.
Agreed.
I don't want to say he's more badass than Gogol because that's no. But
he's up there.
For him to have earned that position.
Krager Wormfoe?
Yeah.
Why not?
Just because?
Why not?
Well,
just because. We brought it up way too much. You have to.
You know what? I didn't have it written down, but I'm sure it was someone's question. Why is that one brought up so much?
No, that is someone's question. I don't remember who it is, but yeah. Yeah, Krager Wormfoe the Death Bear.
We brought that one up almost.
Well, first of all, it's a Legends of the Guard.
Yep.
It's one of the stories in the revised books. And I bring it up so much, A, because it's the story from the Storyteller's Handbook, Storytellers 3. Mm-hmm. And I'm in that book a lot, so I'm always seeing that it's the first thing in the book.
I was going to say, it's the first story.
Yeah. So I see it all the time. Mm-hmm. And, it's a pretty memorable title.
Yes.
And then the subject matter is great because it is a version
of the start of War of Rage.
Yes. It is a potential jumping off point for that. And, if it's a true story, because it could be, it could not be, as things go. Mm-hmm. It certainly wasn't the one thing.
No, but
But it could have been the last straw.
Or the first one.
Or the first one. Or the straw that made this section of it jump off. Mm-hmm. Or whatever. But even in the context of the story itself, it was a very controversial tale to be told in the story itself.
Right.
So, Krager Wormfoe the Death Bear.
All right. Any other meta plot characters you can think of?
Well, I mean, there's plenty.
Obviously, there's a ton, but ones that you think are significant for bringing up.
I like Mamu of the Red Talons.
Okay.
He's down there in Australia too. That guy's a badass. Teeth of Titanium.
Yeah.
Oh, because I remember that Rage card too. That was fucking cool.
Fucking robot Krynos.
You get Morning Kill and Albrecht, those two, obviously.
Yeah, and if you're talking
that's
Albrecht...
super significant.
Right. If you're talking Albrecht, you're talking Mari and Evan, who I think are vastly cooler than Albrecht. I don't like... He's got main character syndrome. I don't like him. He's the best because he's the main character of the 90s and he had a trench coat.
Ugh.
He's the Gambit of Werewolf the Apocalypse.
He's got a point. And that's one thing that always... I don't know if it's written. How does that Silver Crown even go around?
Well, I mean, it's fused to... Oh, you mean how it gets passed on?
Yeah, how does it get passed on? It's fused to the skull, so do they have to, like, rip it off of the dead body?
Well, it kind of doesn't get passed around. You know, when that happened, it happened in the novel The Silver Crown.
Mm-hmm.
That's Bill Bridges, by the way. It's a pretty cool story.
Yeah.
And it brings up Arcady, who's another one that I'm a big fan of.
You've seen that Rage card, too, yeah.
Yeah, you know, that's where Morningkill died.
Mm-hmm.
And it was who's going to be his heir, and you had Arcady, came over from Russia, who was going to take the seat, and so Albrecht comes out of exile to go, no, he's my grandfather, fuck off. You know, they duel, Arcady cheats and wins, he was a little wormed up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like, on purpose?
Yeah, he was a little wormed up. Not a lot wormed up, but a little wormed up.
Just enough to win.
They had a Bane trip Albrecht during the fight.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, he was dealing with some spirals. Wasn't a spiral, but was a little wormed up. And which led to them going, you know, Albrecht and his pack, trying to find this legendary fetish of the Silver Crown, that whoever wore it can command all Garu. Not I'm in charge because I'm wearing it, but because I'm wearing it, I can tell you to start hitting yourself until you die, and you just have to do that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you are compelled by the fetish itself. So they go with this.
And obviously the fetish chooses you.
Right. If you are not, there's trials to go through, and if you're not worthy, it just melts you when you put it on.
Fun.
So you're just like Gibbs and...
Gross.
Yeah.
So obviously when the user dies, it removes itself then?
Yeah.
Okay. That makes a little more sense.
Right.
It's like it's fused to the skull. Does it unfuse itself? I was always confused with that.
And then when that's over, you know, who does it go to next? I don't know. You want to put it on?
No, I'm good. I'm not taking that chance.
Oh, God.
No, that said, to be clear, Albrecht did remove that power. The you do whatever I say power.
How do you do that?
Well, I mean, he gave some final orders to some spirals.
Oh, okay.
Like, go back to your hive and kill everyone there, and if you're the last ones left, fight each other to the death, and then the winner commit suicide.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Should have done it for all the spirals.
And then he gave the order that no one has to follow the crown anymore.
Oh.
I'm paraphrasing, but yeah.
Okay.
You know, from now on, you are not mystically compelled to do whatever I say. That's an order.
Hopefully he waited till the spirals did their thing first.
He gave the one order, it's fine. But that's, you know, that was Cliff's Notes, that's the Silver Crown.
Cliff Notes. We'll talk about it again soon.
I don't know that we will. But that is... But it's worth a read if you can get your hands on the book, for sure.
Okay.
Even though I kind of... Look, he has the crown later, so guess what? He did it. You already know. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, he's got the crown.
He's got a crown on his head. He did it. He won.
Yay. So not really meta plot characters here, or a character, but there are several books who kind of talk about this person, but who is Beowulf?
Well, Beowulf...
It's a guy who's a wolf.
I worded that way on purpose.
Yeah, that was... Thanks.
What a guy.
I know.
Bus order.
Right? Beowulf, you know, has been called the first story. I don't know how... I'm sure that's not accurate, but it's been called that.
Mm-hmm.
It was an ancient poem / kind of... He was like the first hero.
Right.
Is that related to werewolf? However, it is a fictional character.
Mm-hmm.
And this was particularly true during second edition, where the first tribe books were.
Okay.
So if you're new to the game, bear with me there. There were no first edition tribe books. So Tribe Book 1 is a second edition book.
Yeah, we're skipping around a little bit on that, but yeah.
Well, I'm saying that just to be clear.
So everyone's clear.
Yeah. So the Tribe Book 1, in that series, there were a couple tribes that claimed Beowulf was one of them. The Silverfangs did it.
The Get did it. I think the Fianna did it.
I'm not sure if the Fianna did it. They might have, but the Get of Fenris absolutely did. And point of fact, he was known to them as Get of Fenris slays Grendel. And as Grendel was the first monster Beowulf killed in the story.
Mm-hmm.
And according to that book, he's the reason they're called the Get of Fenris. Yeah.
But how is that
They
possible?
were the Fenner. They were the Fenner, and then Get of Fenris slays Grendel comes along and is so badass the whole tribe renames itself in honor of him.
But how does that happen if the Silver Fangs also take credit for Beowulf?
Well, that's crazy, right? And how many vampire clans take credit for Dracula?
Right.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
It's a big name hero.
Right.
He's ours. They cut that shit out for the revised editions.
Can't imagine why.
And I think that's probably for the better.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to argue about which people that may or may not have existed, may or may not have been a part of a tribe. Let's just throw those deep heads out and concentrate on other stuff.
We have an apocalypse looming.
Right. Let's
take care of that.
No, Mick Jagger is a Fianna. Shut up. We don't need to have this conversation. Mick Jagger can just be a Rolling Stone.
He's a skin dancer.
Keith Richards, I believe.
Fair.
Oh. Yeah, I was going to say, that's, yeah. I think I'd be surprised if he wasn't.
Let's get away from this star fucking.
Oh, boy.
All right. Got another one from Ghostpaw.
Hey, look, we're getting back to him.
Yeah.
Oh.
I saved it.
Or did he?
Or did he?
What's the best way to keep track of game notes for a new storyteller?
Writing them down.
And that's our show.
Porter has a little invention.
I do, but before we get to that,
Okay.
that might be a bit advanced.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have always, and it's always been the black book, but gotten one of those, notebooks, the 3-ring or whatever, usually with the pockets in them. You get the back to school sale or whatever,
We love our back to school sales.
Right. And so, I'd always have, and it's always been black covered because it's me. So it's the black book. And that's where I would do my notes, some of my scripting, anything I need on the fly. I'd keep track of readout in there. That's where your character sheets are right now, point of fact. They're the black book.
It's true.
Why? Because we game here, so no one accidentally leaves their shit somewhere.
You show up without a character sheet, you are in trouble.
I've had it happen over the years. Someone would forget their thing, and they'd have to go back home and get it.
I did.
We have to wait an extra hour because someone can't work fucking dice,
or
whatever.
I did it, but I also get here 2-3 hours earlier.
Well, yeah. No, I wasn't even talking about you. I forgot you did that once, but yeah, so there's the black book, and that's a great way to keep notes. And if it's a smaller book, because notebooks come in all sizes, maybe it's something you can keep on you to jot stuff down at the time. There's this other thing though I use, and I've been using this more often. It's called a computer.
A what?
A computer.
Oh, explain what that is, please.
It connects to this information superhighway.
Oh,
sounds too weavery for me.
I know, and it's there's like a typewriter that attaches to it. It's got a little TV on it, and so you just clickety clack, and it writes it down like you were using a pencil.
Except cleaner.
What an asshole.
Yeah, a little bit.
But no, it's just,
Well, when you're gaming, you don't exactly have your computer in front of you.
No, exactly. And that's why you want to have the notebook.
Yep.
And
even if it's one of those little front
pocket
even little
pocket
ones.
things.
Yeah,
something to jot notes down. And
you
then,
can even do it as keywords, so you just brings back the memory of, I can go write that down later in the computer.
Whatever your system. So yeah, definitely keep files on your computer. And even back those up sometimes, 2 or 3 different places. Because, I work at the computer my day job.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm always at that stupid box. So it's easy for me to just pull up a Word document and go, hey, that's a good idea. Save and name it something dumb on the desktop and quit, and you can go back to it later.
Okay.
But notes, keeping multiple copies, it's super important. So yeah.
Oh yeah, it's important for the players. It's important for the storyteller, especially the newer guys, newer storytellers. Keep track of as much as you can.
And back to the computer thing too. With this is real. This isn't a joke.
He's laughing already. I don't trust it.
No.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
No, because I saw the joke route and I don't want to take it.
All right.
Is do your scripting online, or not online, but on the in Word or whatever. It's cool if you want to write down your scripts, by hand. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But
type them up.
You're gonna want the typed versions because A, you can print off a new one if something happens, and B, you're gonna want them over the years.
Yeah.
You're gonna want to. There's gonna be a point where you're gonna want to go back to those old stories and maybe farm for ideas for a new group, or see maybe I can write that better. And so it's great to have those old records.
I'm also a big proponent of I write first and then I go type. So I get to reread it and go through it, reprocess it again and again as you type it out, and then you can fix things that you might have missed or put in another plot hook that could have been there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I mean, hell, I think our patrons are probably thankful that I keep those digital copies, because that's why we have a postmortem series.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it is.
You know, if I had just written those down, how easy would it have been for the script to get thrown away after a game?
Oh, every single time, probably?
You know? Coffee gets spilled on a book. Something can happen.
No.
That sucks.
So make sure keep your digital copies, too.
Yeah, awesome.
Keep them on a flash drive, too. Get that backup.
There you go.
So, you mentioned the postmortems. You know where those postmortems are coming from?
They're coming from Patreon?
Exactly.
I was going to say they're coming from Rage Across the Internet?
Yeah, we're doing them.
Yeah.
They're coming from us, really.
Right, yes.
Like my brain.
To Patreon. To patrons.
Yes, to patrons.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh.
That's our. Oh, okay.
Oh.
That's our second tier on our Patreon.
Yeah. Okay. I see what he's doing a thing.
Oh,
doing a thing
he's
here.
segueing, but it's not doing well.
No. Well.
But we got
next
it.
time.
All right, so that's our second tier on our Patreon.
Yes, which is super worth it. That's
super. We've got nothing but positive feedback on that. People are loving it.
Yeah, that's kind of a steal.
It really is.
Oh, well.
But yeah, I mean, that's where it is right now.
Yeah, hey, lucky you guys.
Yeah, in those postmortems, I mean, that's basically an extra episode a month.
Yes.
And it's where we chronicle the adventures that you guys have had under me as a storyteller.
It's such a deep dive into every one, like in each story.
Yeah, not only the what happened, but how we feel about it in hindsight, how we felt about it on the day, what was the inspiration behind a thing, if necessary. You know, we make it a thing.
It's a big production for us to do an entire episode just for that.
Yeah,
but it's so worth it.
Guys, so I wish more people would do it, because I want people to hear these.
Yeah.
Like, I want to just air them, but at the same time, we were not going to do that because we have people paying hard-earned money if they want to hear these.
Exactly. They're paying for it, and we want you to hear them too. We want you guys to become patrons. We want to be able to give this stuff back. Thank you so much for donating, but this is how we're doing it. This is how we're giving back to you for doing so. Yeah,
it's our way of saying thank you. You know, and it's that middle tier there is the postmortems, and we have our $5 tier. Mm-hmm. Which it gives you access, the invitation, I guess, to our monthly hangouts, where we watch something dumb and or fun.
Sometimes both.
Sometimes both.
Most times both.
A good time.
Yeah, and
literally, it's just us all hanging out.
Yeah.
It's such a good time. Everyone's always laughing. It's, we had the Storyteller Summit episode, and Strides was definitely gushing about it, how it's such a good way to be able to hang out, especially right now during these times where you can't always hang out with your friends. So being able to hang out, and look, we got friends from all over the world.
Right. We really do.
So come join us. Come hang out with us. Have fun.
And then we got our top tier.
Which, wow, you've
been knocking those out of the park.
Well, thank you.
You have crazy for doing so.
Yeah, it's our NPC of the Month Club, which is where I give you a NPC out of my personal Bible. And, serve them up for you. And to be clear, it's not just me copying and pasting off of an old file. Because, there have been a lot of different incarnations of the characters over the years when I reset the world with a new group. Mm-hmm. I make tweaks.
Yeah, every time.
Every time. I might use the same setting, but none of the stories are the same.
No.
There are changes to the NPCs, and to reflect that, I'm grabbing what I would call the ideal version of each character. And so I'm rewriting these every month. Mm-hmm. Is like the ultimate version of them.
Which is crazy, because there's some of these NPCs that are in our game, and you have written for some of the previous months of the NPC of the month. Mm-hmm. And, there's some details that I didn't even know about these characters.
Oh,
because
sure.
you're putting that much into it, and it's like, holy crap, man. And you've spent days on these.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes,
there's a couple you spent, over a week.
Sometimes writing's hard sometimes, right? You have a lot.
You gotta get that creative juice going sometimes. If it's not there, you can't do it.
The point is, once you read that write-up, you'll understand the time he's put into it.
Oh, yeah. That's why he always sends them to us prior.
Yeah, and I'm sorry for kissing your ass here on this one, but, I'm excited to read these. I'm really excited for the top tier guys to read these too.
Yeah, and I mean, well, if you're part of the Discord, you're part of that tier, and bust your balls for feedback too, because I want to make sure that you guys are happy with the rewards you're getting.
Yes, yeah, please let us know if you like what you're hearing, if you like what you're reading, you like what you're seeing, let us know.
Yep. And it's just, again, it's a thing. If you can support us that way, it means the world, and that's our way of thanking you.
Yes.
And if you can't or don't want to, we know times are tough.
Yeah,
money doesn't grow on the trees.
No.
I've tried several recipes. It will not work.
But money's made out of paper, and paper's made out of trees.
I know. It should be a no-brainer.
Yeah, exactly. So we keep planting more trees and nothing's happening.
I've done it with water. I've done it with fucking green beer. I've done it with green Kool-Aid. For the money. Because money's green. It doesn't work.
Only in our country.
Well, I don't care about other countries' money. I can't do anything with that.
Just got a point.
Fair.
That saying doesn't care about other countries. It doesn't care about other countries' money.
You give me a ruble or something, what am I going to do with that?
Some banks won't even exchange them now.
Right?
Wow.
I'm going to get kicked out. So, but yeah, it doesn't grow. So we understand if you don't have the money or you don't want to, if that's cool, but please tell your friends, give us the reviews, the 5-star ratings,
Yes, it's so weird. It's such a big deal, but it is.
But it is, help us reach out to more people.
Mm-hmm. Thumbs up, like us, retweet the tweets on Twitter.
Yep. And all of that matters. It really does. The more of those we get, the more people we reach. And the more people we reach, hey, the SEP gets bigger, our totem gets stronger.
Hey, look at that.
I don't know how to take this any further. But
we'll need some gnosis later, don't worry.
It helps us, and that would mean the world to us. And hopefully we're helping you guys and giving something to you that you think's worthwhile. And if you feel that way, please do check in to help us, because we can't do it without you.
Right. RageAcrossTheInternet.com.
Well, Tom's too fucking good for this now.
Now you're too good.
Now you're too good
It's
for
only
this.
because you didn't start it with the HTTP.
Oh, good.
1993, suddenly.
Yeah.
Existed then?
That's probably too early.
Yeah, it's way too early.
I'm a little cold. I don't remember what the years mean. But I think that about does it for us. Is that
yeah, that's all the questions. So, again, everyone who wrote in, thank you so much. Appreciate them all. Keep writing in, because if we keep getting these questions, we'll keep doing a junk drawer.
Yeah, and this is a weekly show, guys.
Yeah.
So.
And if you don't get a response from Porter, send it again.
But again, send them to the email, because that's the best way we keep track. The easiest way through that.
Yep.
Unless they're in the spam folder.
RageAcrossPodcast@gmail.com. And yeah, if you want to title it Junk Drawer or Questions or whatever, that would help too.
Oh yeah, that would definitely help us track it.
It's the first time we've come up with that. It's been a year. So now you know who you're dealing with.
People who don't script.
Right? We're just making this happen somehow.
And
somehow it's really, hopefully.
We're entertained.
And
we haven't been told otherwise. How about that?
That's really enough for us, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. It's well over half the battle.
So thank you all so much for listening and the support you've given and the support hopefully you will give. But that will about do it for us this time. So on behalf of Tom and Danny and myself here at Scratch and Wolf Studios, I want to thank you again. You all take care of each other and keep howling, and we'll see you next time. Later.
Hey everybody, my name is Chris, and first off, I want to thank you for listening all the way to the end of the episode, and I'm going to thank you on behalf of Porter. I'm here to talk to you today about The Hammer and the Stake, which is a new RPG that I have developed. I have a background in Savage Age. I'm the original developer for Savage Age, and if you've heard any of the episodes about the Savage Age, you've probably heard my voice. Big, passionate fan of Werewolf the Apocalypse and the World of Darkness, and now The Hammer and the Stake is my opportunity to explore my original and wholly owned intellectual property. The Hammer and the Stake is a game about socialists in 1920s era Hungary fighting against a despotic and fascist vampiric government. And your job as these socialists is to bring it down. Game's core mechanic focuses on player cooperation and wagering to overcome obstacles. There is distinct design principle behind it in which every throw of the dice is supposed to involve every player at the table, whether physically or virtually. And I want you to understand that I've put a lot of time and effort into this game to make it feel exciting and original and from a place of passion. Myself, I have 20 years of freelancing experience. I've written for White Wolf. I've written for other games like Delta Green, City of Mist, Hellas, and Tribe 8. And this is my opportunity to give you all my personal vision of what a role-playing game can be. So if you give me a shot, I'd appreciate it. It's up on Kickstarter right now. It's The Hammer and the Stake, S-T-A-K-E, not S-T-E-A-K. That is a completely different game. But yeah, if you would be willing to give me a shot, I guarantee this is going to be an exciting exploration of the setting and the mechanics that I want to take and enact with you all together. So thank you very much, and I'll see you on Kickstarter.